Happy Sunday, lovelies. Welcome to the Jaden Show. I'm Jaden Cornelious, and I'm very excited about today's show, not only because I'm getting to meet a wonderfully talented person from LA, but also I get to talk about one of my favourite people in the world, Olivia Newton-John. You can hear more about that in a minute. However, I think we should listen to a bit of this guy, a bit of today's special guest. This is called A Song for You. This is AdrianChristian.
Yeah.
Hey, you alright? Good show. Thanks. He wasn't there.
No.
Hey, any messages?
Sorry. Where's my money?
What money?
Hey!
I don't know her.
I want a return on my investment.
What happened? Adrian, why wasn't he there tonight?
Do I look like a clairvoyant to you? I don't know what to tell you.
I think you do. Adrian, you've been doing one-nighters back to back, and he hasn't come to see you. Do you really think he wants to be with you?
Of course he wants to be with me. Look, Charlie, I've been gone. I haven't been here. What am I supposed to do? Give all of this up? Why do I have to choose? I guess he's not waiting for me.
Hey, you were put here for a reason. Remember that.
Do we have time before closing?
Yeah.
I've been so many places in my life and time. I've sung a lot of songs. I've made some bad rhymes. I've acted out my life on stages with 10,000 people watching. But we're alone now, and I'm singing this song to you. You taught me precious secrets of a true love, withholding nothing. You came out in front when I was hiding. Oh, now I'm so much better. And if my words don't come together, listen to the melody, 'cause my love is in there hiding. I love you in a place where there's no space or time. I love you for my life, are a friend of mine. And when my life is over, remember when we were together. We were alone, and I was singing this song to you. We were alone, and I was singing this song to you. We were alone, and I was singing this song. Singing this song for you.
Was that now you know that I know that you want to meet Adrian now, but you're not going to? Oh no, you're not. You got to be patient. All good things comes to those that wait. So it's time for a Jaden Show commercial break. Hey guys, I wanted to take this opportunity to let you know about the Jaden Show commercial break starting now. This is amazing news because now every single week you have a couple of minutes to be able to advertise something you want to advertise. So if you have a business, if you have an event coming up, if you have a new album, art gallery, or anything you want to particularly advertise on a show, this is your chance to do it. March and April 2024, the advertisements are free, so please let me know. Get in touch to me on jadencornelius@aol.com. It will be wonderful to hear from you. If you are a charity or a charitable organization or a non-profit and you are advertising something with regards to that, then always your advertising is free. So let me know. You will need to send me between a 1 and 2 minute video around that time, if possible, something that you want to advertise, and I will fit it into this spot. Get on. I'll see you soon. Take care, bud. Hey, okay, we're going. Let's meet this week's special guest, the amazing AdrianChristian. AdrianChristian, welcome, young man, to the Jaden Show and Mexico. How are you doing, Governor?
Hey, great to see you, Jaden. And I gotta tell you, this has been a while coming, and I am excited. I'm excited, and to all of the Aussie and everyone in Australia, and just and everyone watching all over the world, the UK. Just my love to all of you, and thank you so much. Thank you for befriending me, and I'm just so psyched about everything that you're doing too.
Well, back at you. That's why I needed you on my show. So, I mean, I obviously, I became, your fan as soon as I clicked that little Olivia link, because that girl will always be my muse and my inspiration. How did it start for you? I mean, obviously, we'll talk about, Her Spirit Lives On and your connection with Mr. Karatash as well.
You're right, Karatash. Yeah,
because he's already been on my show. So let's go back and let's chat about how it started for Mini Master Christian. What was you doing? Was your household musical? Were your family musical? How did it all begin?
I was born in New York, in the Bronx, and Italian and Latin family. So music was always playing. Music was always on the radar. The radio stations were not segregated. They played everything.
Wow,
At the time. So you could hear country music, you could hear pop, you could hear, rhythm and blues and rock and roll, and it was all a big mishmash because it was the melting pot. So I discovered a lot of country music in New York City easily on the radio. And so that became, and of course I love Dolly Parton just like Rick does. And we talk about Sudi Karadas. And Sudi Karadas and I became friends and connected on this mutual. And he's also a New Yorker, native New Yorker. So growing up like that was really advantageous, and I just loved music, loved vinyl, and I have this great vinyl collection still, and Olivia was a part of that. Olivia was on the radio, and so I grew up really listening to her. I mean, she really entered my zeitgeist more like really in the physical period, although yes, I did I did see Grease later. I didn't see Grease when I was a kid. And so, but I caught on to that. I mean, she's just the soundtrack of our lives. I mean, she was with us through all of this time. So for me, it was really, it was gradual. I think with Rick, it was much more immediate. She was the first LP, the first record that he owned was "Come On Over," Olivia.
Yeah.
John.
That's amazing. Did you have a genre preference? I mean, was country music your thing, or I mean, because obviously if it was, then you would have been kind of hearing Olivia out and about doing her country thing.
Country music was kind of on the side for me. I was really a pop, pop and rock person, and R&B and disco, because being Latino, there was salsa music, on the record player from my parents, and so I had the Latin influence as well. But I really gravitated towards Olivia's, time period of "I Honestly Love You" and "Please, Mr. Please" and "Have You Never Been Mellow" and those things, and then later on, and I really, when she, from the Grease moment on, I was just smitten by "Totally Hot," and I was smitten by "A Little More Love."
Oh my God! Yeah, I actually ended up in casualty department because of that song.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
To my father's complete embarrassing, because she used to sing like "Nights Dragons."
Yes.
Dun, 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 and I'd done that, but I'd done it with so much passion and pizzazz that I just put my neck out. My dad had to take me as he was dancing to Olivia.
We needed to tell Olivia that.
My son.
At least we need to tell Chloe. But for me, it was like the bass line, boom, 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 boom. And so for me, it was like a little kid. I was strutting to that. That's strutting. That's a strutting beat, if I ever heard one.
Oh my God! Yeah, absolutely.
And so that's the attitude. And then, of course, when Xanadu came along and Magic,
Well, Magic
That was
is
just
actually my funeral song, not because of the because I just
really.
the best way. That and Spice Girls, Spice Up Your Life. I think that was the best way to go out, quite frankly.
Right.
But yeah, I also ended up probably with. Thinking back now, she's probably been responsible for the majority of my injuries. To be fair, because I remember on these really shitty little roller skates that you kind of strapped around your shoes.
Yes.
And I remember going up and down. I was only allowed between. There was like a little housing thing, and there was only like two little alleyways, and I was only allowed between the two alleyways because I was very young, obviously. And I remember on this like concrete road in these strap-on hard plastic rubber roller boots going Xanadu, and I think there was more than a grazed elbow, a black eye, cut knees, just because of that bloody movie. Actually,
I love roller skating too, and I love that whole roller disco thing, and
oh my God,
and again disco music. So I thought it was fascinating that she, that she came from this country, quasi pop country, folksy place, and then when she went into pop rock, but then having that groove, that John Farrar groove, and incorporating that. And so by the time the 80s rolled around and there were dance mixes, she was just a natural fit into that. So I got really seriously interested in her. I mean, I always loved her, but I got serious with Rick because Rick, was extremely passionate about her, and I started paying more attention to this. And then when she passed, he wanted to do something about it, and I'd already worked with Rick on several other projects.
Award-winning projects, actually.
Yeah, he wrote a Christmas song for me that got on the radio. Midnight Will Be Clear. He and I worked on a music video for A Song for You for my first CD, and so I was already releasing music and doing these things, and then he jumped into it and he said, we got to do something, and that's where the whole basis for the Olivia Newton-John project for Her Spirit Lives On came in. And when we started doing that, and I'm in the studio now completing the EP, we thought we've got to really get this to the fans. What would be the best way to get this to the true diehards and the people who really love her? And so that's when I formed the Spirit of the Living John, the Facebook group, and the YouTube channel that I'm going to be, and I started, it became part of my research. It was because of wanting to really dive into her whole catalog, her whole discography, that I decided I'm going to do videos, reaction videos, reviews of every single single and every single album. Amazing. And I have her whole catalog here on my shelf, and so I'm going to share that with the fans. But guess what happened, Jaden? When I got to do this thing, I didn't imagine. It's not thousands and thousands of people. It's not like 30,000 people like her page or her group. It's a select, it's a very VIP kind of group, because the people that are there really love her. And I am getting to know, and I've gotten to know so many people who have written to me and shared with me meeting her, their experiences about her, what they loved about her, and they're giving me more insight than I would have had, and they've been so kind. Fans are reflective of their artist, their favorite artist, and that's what I'm finding with this group, is that there's so many kind, good people there. I think
that kind of stemmed from Source, right?
Yes, because she was always, promoting kindness and bringing people together through her music, and then her journey, her cancer journey, and outlining that in her music. So I'm discovering a lot of music of hers that I didn't know, that I didn't really
There was
listened
a
to.
lot.
I have her whole catalog, and I have not listened to them all. So I'm going to do that on air for the group.
Amazing, mate. Amazing. Oh, I'm going to
Yeah.
put you in for sure. Olivia, I mean, and she would have said as well, she was kind of rejected by England on quite a big level. When I chatted with her at the Royal Albert Hall just before she left, and she was just like, I don't think I'm coming back to England again. You know, I think she felt that she was just not wanted. I mean, the fans loved her and wanted her, but the press were just arseholes to her in England, I think.
In the beginning or during or later?
For her whole career.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, apart from the Cliff Richard stuff, I think because of Cliff was such an icon,
Right.
you know, in England back in the day. But, you know, I chatted with her the last time she was in England, and she just said that I don't think I'm coming back. The press are arseholes here.
Really? That
Yeah,
so
well, she didn't say
surprises me
arseholes.
because, you know, the Eurovision thing, and then she had her submission, and then she leaving Australia, being Australian and coming to England and being,
I could be
and
wrong.
then coming to America. But the thing is that getting signed by Pie Festival, by Pie Records in England, I would have thought differently. But I guess because they considered her Australian, that they didn't really want to embrace her as English.
Possibly. I mean, I never knew about the Totally Hot album. I mean, Xanadu, exactly, until I've always been a fan. I was saying to Sudi as well that you know, I was always a fan. Like, she was, I didn't know whether I wanted to be her or marry her or what, you know, like, it was just the most beautiful woman with an incredible voice where every song was magic, literally. And
Similar.
and you said it, you know, it became like the kind of the theme tune. You know, my mixtape was always ABBA and Olivia Newton-John, and you know things like that back in the day. But then after Xanadu, I think Xanadu was classed as a bit of a flop in England. Although bloody amazing, it was all magical for me, so I just loved every second of it. But I think it was a bit of
You either got it or you didn't.
You didn't. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
also, I want to tell your friends and your fans that, you know, it's through this Olivia group, the Spirit of Olivia Newton-John, on Facebook, that I found you, that I met you, and then clicked on you and discovered what you were doing, and I just thought, oh, this is beautiful. I mean, it doesn't surprise me. There are people who are devoted to tribute and whatnot, and I'm working on this tribute and whatnot, and I said, I've got to know this guy. We've just got to really support each other and be there for each other. That's just how I feel about you, man.
Thank you, dude. Thank you. I really appreciate it. It was quite interesting because a friend of mine had bought me a non-official biography of Olivia. And I've been suffering through mental health and going through stuff all my life. I can't remember when I've not suffered through mental health. And I kind of read this book, and I hadn't been doing much singing at the time, and, you know, still kind of reeling after losing record deals and bad management and stuff like that. And I read this book and thought, bloody hell, like, she's one of the most beautiful women on the planet, one of the most successful. She's got everyone knows her, like, everyone sung with her, everyone wants to sing with her, and yet she's been through all this shit. Right, no one is safe. So shut the fuck up, Jaden. Get on with your life. Pull yourself together. And so I thought, right, what I'm going to do is, like,
So she sparked that fire in you.
Completely. And I hadn't heard it. I didn't even know whether she was alive or dead. I mean, it wasn't like I had spent all my 20s and my 30s going, oh, I'm Olivia fan. I love. If you'd said who were your favorite singers, I would have said ABBA, Olivia. She would have been in my list. But I wasn't really. I mean, I was a pop star in the 90s, so I was listening. I was kind of into the music that was kind of credible then. Your Britney, Chris, Ricky Martin, all this kind of stuff.
Because of the way the music trends move and everything.
Absolutely. And I was kind of on it because I was releasing it at the same time. So going back, Olivia might have been great to listen to on the radio or on a Walkman or something like that, but I wasn't kind of into her. And I saw it on TV and I was like, oh my God, she's still about and she's looking good. Like, she looks amazing.
Yep.
And then that kind of re-sparked my interest. And then, so my friend bought me this book and I just didn't realize how much she had suffered. So I thought, right, you know what? I'm going to stop bloody moaning about my bag. I'm going to find people. I've always loved singing. I'm going to find people who don't feel they can sing, but would love to sing. And I'm going to train them for however long it takes to learn 36 Olivia Newton-John songs. And then we are going with harmonies, and then we are going to tour it. And every single penny is going to go to a 3 breast cancer charity. It was Emerson Newton, his Pink and Blue for 2. It was a breast cancer campaign in England, because the Breast Cancer Foundation in England wouldn't touch me because I wasn't guaranteeing them a certain amount of income. So
Really?
they were interested, yeah. And Olivia's Wellness Centre. And we raised, I think, like £12,000. It wasn't a great amount of money, but it was really interesting that, teaching these people to sing wasn't really about teaching them to sing. It was about giving them the confidence to have a voice. That was their thing. They could sing and they wanted to sing, but they were scared to open their mouths and allow something to come out. And that was the biggest, I think, thing that happened within that tour. And then obviously we just had fun. Oh my God, an hour and a half singing Olivia Newton-John songs, from Xanadu to Country Roads to Twist of Fate, amazing. Plus Grease. Oh my God, I was in my element. And, I was earning money. I didn't need any of it. It was cool. But I was like...
And I'm also enjoying the fact that, that material's being discovered now, that is getting releases now, like My Dream, and now this Christmas release of hers that's coming, that just went on pre-order today, and and so Angels in the Snow, and so I'm just happy to be in the wave. I feel mostly gratified and grateful that I am in the midst of that. I've attracted good people because of Olivia. And that for me was the whole thing. I mean, I just thought, okay, I'm going to do the same thing as you, raise some money for the Olivia Newton-John Foundation for Breast Cancer Research and Wellness Center, and do the single, and that's going to be a good thing, and it'll be a good thing for us to, send our love, and also to do, a tribute to music. With our case, with Rick, what he did is that he wrote 3 songs that are originals, that are but they're about her. 3 songs about her, and then I'm doing I'm doing some of her greatest hits on the thing as well. And so I think it's going to be. I'm just having a blast. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to do. But I absolutely. It isn't like I just stepped into loving Olivia, because there are markers, times in my life. When I began my nightclub act, I was 15 years old, and I was singing in clubs at age 15. I was underage, and I said I was 18, and I would get in there, and I got booked, paid to sing for 15 minutes. And the only other singers that were there, the only other performers were drag queens. In gay clubs. So I was this boy singer, 15, in sequence, and I had to sew the thing myself, and the whole thing. But my very first song in my nightclub act was "I Honestly Love You."
Oh, nice.
And I was not consciously aware that I was doing an Olivia thing. It wasn't like that. It was like, I want to start with a ballad and then break out the outfit and then do this dance disco thing, this dance number. And so I chose "I Honestly Love You." I've also been, a Cher fan. I've also been a fan of a lot of other artists like Dolly, like Rick says, but I also like a lot of other things. Like I liked a lot of music of the '80s. I liked Journey. I still dig pieces of Led Zeppelin. I think I have the Beatles, George Harrison. I've got Paul McCartney. I've got a great many. I'm a big fan of Nile Rodgers. And Chic, and the work he did with Sister Sledge. I love what he did. I like people who push the button forward to bring next level. And so that's why I think there's something to what we're doing, you and I. I think that we are bringing the presence of what we represent into this music, but giving it a, to see a guy like you, a guy like me, doing this kind of tribute material. It's a little bit like Luther Vandross, who loved Dionne Warwick and Aretha Franklin, and was influenced by female singers.
Yep.
And we have a very similar aesthetic to that, but we are also of, you know, I guess the best way to put it is of the queer community, or of the more inclusive
Community,
group of people that have not been represented in the music industry. Because as you know, and you having been in the music industry, having recorded and done things like I have, I had a record deal on the table with the biggest record label in the year 2000, and they just didn't want me to be gay.
No, yeah,
completely. It was just what the industry was. So what did you and I do? You and I are running our ship. We are manhandling our ship ourselves. And guess what? With the internet and everything that's happened in music, that's where everyone went anyway. So we were ahead of that. I was releasing independent music when it cost a lot of money.
Yeah, me too.
Yes. So now people are just like, so that's the reason why we know what we're doing with reaching people and reaching out to the fans and everything that we're doing. So we have to keep going. We have to keep doing this, because people do respond to it, and as long as we are doing the things that we really believe in, it's going to be worth it. Because one thing I noticed and I learned about from Olivia Newton-John is that when she was in her hit making streak from her hit period, and also her country period, but after all of that, and I would call that maybe after her greatest hits collection that came at the end of the 80s into early 90s, and after her diagnosis came, and she was no longer recording for Geffen Records, I think that, post Rumor, I do think that by the time she came in with Back with a Heart, I think that she was only releasing things that she believed in. And that's what an artist is. That's what an artist does. Like Gaia, like Grace and Gratitude, like these things. So she had nothing to prove. It wasn't important. It wasn't as important how it charted on Billboard. She was just putting music that was meaningful to her. And
to her truth and her authenticity.
And then documenting her journey through her music. Her whole health journey.
Yeah, absolutely. So, if you started singing in nightclubs at the age of 15 years old, had you done anything prior to that? Or was that...
Yeah, I started singing when I was 7, and I was always involved with church and with school, and for the first year, I don't think my family didn't even know I did it in hiding. I came from a very poor and difficult and challenged background. There was a lot of domestic abuse, violence. It was a suppressed kind of environment, so I sought music as my refuge, and I loved going to school. I loved learning. I loved reading. I wanted to do something, make something out of myself. So that was how the beginning was. But I also, by the age 13, 14, I got involved in theater. I was disqualified for the High School of Performing Arts in New York City. I wanted to go there because we moved to New Jersey. So the moment we moved to New Jersey, I was disqualified because of the zoning. So I went to high school during the day, and right after school, I trekked to New York City and took more classes, acting, voice training, and met my first mentor. Her name was Miriam Colon, and of the Puerto Rican Traveling Theater. And so I got my first part off Broadway at age 16 and did that, and then learned about playwriting and wrote and produced 2 off-Broadway shows that I starred in, and that I did as well. So I learned early how to do how to manage this, especially since even, we talked about music, but even as an actor, being Latino or being mixed, multiracial, and being out because I was never in the closet, and that was another thing, and and the work was, I was just, the doors were not open for people like me unless I created the work. And so that is, and I also got jobs for other actors, and got them, in these plays. And so that was my New York tenure. And then when I came to LA, now, it became a new life, and I'm doing more filmed work, and did a little bit of television and film. Did it like a Guiding Light. Did a Forensic Files. I had an agent, a manager, who got me cast in things and helped me get work. And I continue to study acting, and I really believe that I could really, really be good. Thank God a lot of this has opened up and diversified so that it isn't that I'm not even interested in playing gay roles. I want to play straight roles, just anyone else. I want to play what I can really play. I want to bring what's internal to the story. And so there's a lot, I think, that and we haven't touched on this, but I'm doing right now a podcast for um, where I'm interviewing people. At the moment, it's covering the election and this cycle that's going on in the United States. But it's called The Conversation, and so it's showing just another facet of what it is I can do. I just want to do things that can really help people and bring people together and to touch people's lives.
It's amazing, man. Do you have a preference? If you had to choose between acting, singing, hosting, is there something you have more of a heart for, or do all of them kind of scratch that itch?
I have fights with myself. Like, no, today I'm going to do this. No, today I'm going to do that. Because it's amazing that the demand is now, when it wasn't anything to do with acting or singing, it was the state of the world. And when the gay marriage thing came in 2015, suddenly everybody wanted to work with me because suddenly everyone realized, oh, why isn't he doing something? Why can't we work with him? Before it was different. To answer that, it depends. There are sweeping periods. It's kind of project by project. Right now, I want to, do it well, whatever it is that I do, and I want to get this Olivia Newton-John EP out and these beautiful songs by Rick, and then we're talking about doing some, scripted shows that we want to do. So I'm eager to do that next year. So but you have to put the time in, and then all the focus goes into that thing. So I love it all. It's just, what will I bring my attention to next? And right now, since we happen to be in this time where we're having an unparalleled election coming, I think that's where my focus came, immediately came. And then, of course, the Olivia group came because I'm in the recording studio, and now I just made, some beautiful friends that I think I'm going to cherish forever. And this Olivia thing will be a part of me for the rest of my life.
That's amazing, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's so amazing. Your family, you said, was a very chaotic, possibly quite a dark situation back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Were they supportive of your evolution into your art and your craft, or was it like, literally, I'm on my own in this, I have to literally cover my own back and do what I need to do? Or did things simmer down and they were like, no, you've been good, we're supporting you? And how did it roll?
Jaden, I wish I could tell you that that they were, supportive and loving family, and those early bios of mine, press releases always said that. But the truth is, and I'm going to tell you the truth, it isn't that they didn't care. I've come to a place of understanding. It is just that based on where I came from and the suppressed environment of people who didn't amount to anything, being Latino, not having opportunities to education, college, things that I really wanted, they just didn't believe it was possible.
Right.
And they didn't think, so it wasn't a personal thing so much about me. I mean, yeah, the fantasy of oh yeah, he's going to make it in show business, he's going to do this and that, but not really understanding how those pieces work. I believe, and my mom passed away this year, and I really believe that by the last couple of years, she really believed, she really wanted the best for me, even if she didn't understand
Right.
the workings of show business. So they were not involved in my evolution or my emerging or my growth. But fortunately, and part of it too, being LGBT, but what was the blessing was that I was able, because of the LGBT, I was able to create my own family, and I have the greatest cousins who love me, and I really do feel loved. I really do feel supported, and I really feel only now more than ever. This is probably why I'm suddenly, coming through the airwaves, because only now do I really believe that people believe in me, that people really like what I'm doing, and I really like what I'm doing, and I guess I had to love myself first.
And we know a song about that, don't we?
Yes. And I have to say that for a very long time growing up, I didn't like myself.
Oh no, I can completely understand how.
And so because I'm thinking, where do I fit here? And I'm not like that. I'm not like that. I don't see myself represented on TV. I don't see, and so I thought to myself, geez, I've got to figure out, and then I finally realized, just be myself.
Don't need to. Yeah, that was my biggest lesson. Was I'd never fitted in. I was, born again Christian, witch, gay. I mean, everything.
I became born again at one time too.
Pentecostal was, that's how I started singing. An amazing time until they kept telling me I was demon possessed, and that kind of got, which
really,
was, yeah. As I think as a 14, 15
stories, boy, you and I both have books, don't we?
Oh my God, I think what is psychological abuse, I think as well, quite frankly. But
right,
needless to say, learned some amazing, phenomenal things through that experience in my life. And I just kind of think it didn't matter what I was, what I did, who I felt I was, how I identified myself or anything. I never fitted in, and I still don't feel even to this day that I fit into any community that exists on this planet.
And I can only say to you, Jaden, as you're saying all this, and I'm looking at you and I'm thinking, wow, this is an amazingly beautiful person. And I have to say, that thank God you didn't fit, because whatever you would have fit into, you wouldn't have done it well.
No, absolutely
right?
not.
We wouldn't have done it well. And I feel very similar about it. So I think what has to happen is, I think we need to not only embrace who we are, and but the fact is that all of those things, the messaging, this is what I was going to say, the messaging that we grew up listening and hearing to, we started to believe those tapes, and that's what was the problem with our feeling of self-worth. And so we got that messaging because that's all the messaging that was available. But guess what? Right now, we are here to deliver the messaging to the next one.
Absolutely.
From what we've learned. And so that 15-year-old kid that I once was, now I have something to say to him.
Yeah.
And we both have that. And so And also, we've got to give ourselves a pat in the back for being here. We're still here.
Doing it. Absolutely. Absolutely. And embracing our authenticity. Like, I don't do anything particularly well, but I do Jaden fucking amazingly.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
I study Jadenism. My spiritual path is Jadenism. I just have to do. I think, like you said, I think it is a blessing when you don't fit in, because unless you go under, unless you go down with that ship, I think what it teaches you to do, it teaches you to look at your authentic self, and the things that make you so different are also the things that are incredibly special about you as well. So I've been quite pleased that I've kind of, you know, I know it's a bit of cherry picking, but the things that have resonated with me to make me want to be a better person are the things that have created Jaden. I didn't have to be part of a society or a group or a community or anything.
Right. Because I used to bend myself backwards for years trying to be included or be accepted in someone's group, and one day okay, I'll give you the more specific. I was in choirs, and I was in a choir, in a church choir for years, and I finally realized, you know, these people, they have issues with me, and I just, you know, I just feel like, you know, they just don't want to include me in on this, or, you know, like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer doesn't want to include him in any reindeer games. So I just think that we're Rudolph, and I think that we, you know, and then once I started taking off and doing my thing, I thought, what took me so long? Now they're going, oh, now they're interested. But you know what? Bye. So I gotta tell you that it just doesn't make sense to try to be that other thing. I much rather be where we are right now, and I think and also the whole messaging behind Grease, the movie Grease, and Olivia at, you know, Sandy at the end. Yes, she became sexy for, you know, to entice a man and all of that. That I get that, and, you know, women's groups will say whatever. But the thing that I saw was that, yes, she was sexy, but she was her own sexy. She wasn't Rizzo.
No.
She wasn't Frenchie. She was Sandy's version of sexy, in only the way that she could, and nobody else. If Rizzo looked at her, Rizzo knew that she could not pull that off.
No, you know, absolutely.
Even though Rizzo was sexy in her Rizzo way. So I just think that we have to adapt and bring us onto the page,
absolutely,
onto whatever it is that we're doing. So this Olivia Newton-John project, Her Spirit Lives On, you know, I'm going to be doing my renditions of Olivia, just like when you do, oh my God, there's some of this beautiful stuff you do for with her songs. I'm going to be doing Adrian's thing. Sweet. You know, I'm going to do my imprint on that, because I'm also an audio engineer. I love music production. I love the way there's a song that is an off take from Twist of Fate that Rick wrote, and it's got a play on the words Twist of Fate in there in the song, and it's a dance record, and it's going to be something. And we're doing our thing. I think people who love Olivia will love it, but I think people who will also discover us in it, because we're the ones paying the tribute. Yeah. So it's okay to do that. I mean, I don't want to do Olivia in drag. I don't want to put on a wig and be Olivia. I want to honor her. You know, I want to honor her. So that's the difference. I think that's the idea. That's why I don't want to do. I mean, not that I won't do a karaoke thing, or, you know, or do her songs or whatever. But by now, after all these years, we both know, you know, sensibilities of what we can do with our voices, right? Our vocal range, our style, all of that. So I think it's going to be just so much fun.
It's going to be amazing, mate. I think we should do something in the future.
Oh,
we need to think of maybe an Olivia song
And I do think that we have so many parallels because we grew up in a similar time, and we also, what you mentioned about Christianity and coming into your, self-discovery, your journey into loving yourself, and what we just talked about here in your show. So you're right. I'm just coming to this understanding that would be so amazing. That would be amazing. I think it would be sexy too.
It'll be great, mate. I'm going to start my little Jaden diet this week. You wait. My little Winnie the Pooh belly will be gone by the time we announce our project.
We all have our cupcake moments, but then we get down to business and then we have a cupcake again. It's okay.
This cupcake is like, we're talking more of a bunt now, if I'm being completely honest. But 52 years old, nearly.
Not bad. Are you kidding me?
52 in March. Oh my gosh. But
I am getting inspiration from people like Jane Fonda and like Cher, who freaking 78 years old. Cher.
Who was I seeing today?
Dolly too, by the way.
Oh my god, yeah, absolutely. Well, I just think, obviously,
we just got to keep doing it because we love it, and people will respond to it, and it doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter. If you're good, you're good.
You can't stop if you wanted to. Number one,
if you're hot, you're hot.
It created you. You. The creativity is spirit. It's part of who you are. Without it, you might as well not be breathing. I mean, you cannot. I mean, I tried so many times, had disappointments with management, losing deals and stuff like that. And when you can't exercise that demon, when you can't give that spirit, who are you without it? So even if I wanted to give up, I bloody couldn't. But
exactly.
The point is as well, about getting older, going through a midlife crisis, like, oh my God, I'm in my 50s now. What am I going to do? How do I appeal to a young... It's all about... Exactly, it goes full circle to back, what we were saying before, where it's about you doing it with zero expectation, just for the.
And you attract who you attract, and if you're a daddy, then go for it. So whatever. But the thing is that there's no way that we can do this thing, you and I, without a music video. We have got to do a music video.
Absolutely,
we got to. I mean, the contrast, your light hair, my dark hair. I mean, I think that would be amazing. But like you said, the right thing, even if it is a ballad, or if it's some kind of a spiritual thing, or if it's a dance poppy thing, whatever it is.
We can cut it. Got no issues. So apart from that being a future plan, what else are your future plans, dude?
So what am I doing? Well, I'm going to be doing some studying. I'm going to work on this web series thing next year. So that's going to happen. Right now, the immediate thing that we're going to do is get this EP released. I mean, that's the first thing.
Have a set date.
I want to get past the election, and I want to get past Christmas, because I know that this is something that would sit much better at the top of the year. So that's one thing. I spend quite a bit of time really perfecting things, and some people tell me, Adrian, like, what, why do you bother? Why do you keep doing this? Why do you keep doing? And I said to him something similar to what you were saying. It's like, I can't not do it. Absolutely. I can't not be an artist. I just have to do it. So I don't even have a choice in the matter.
No, I completely. And like going back to youth and stuff like that, I couldn't even get on a bus until I was in my 20s because I was too shy of walking on in front of people. And when I eventually got on a bus, I had to literally walk on, stand by the door, because I had lots of social phobias. I'm kind of a bit on the autistic spectrum, so I'd have to stand by the middle door. So if I needed to get off at the next stop, sometimes it could take me 3 hours to do a 25-minute journey, because I'd be like, I can't do this. I have to get off, wait for another bus until I'm a bit calmer, get on again, get off 3 stops. I mean, because I was so shy, desperately shy and timid. So singing.
So you have to be centered mentally in the right space to do things like that.
Yeah,
Wow.
it would never. So singing and being an entertainer would never have been the profession, the way of my life as a choice, because it could be further from what I felt comfortable with anyway. I think now. I think I was looking at my list. I think I've done over 6,000 shows in my last 30 years, and I think I've been seen by over. I think it was something like 300 million people worldwide. That's not bad going for someone who, still hasn't made it in that sense of the term. But, for someone who was shy and couldn't get on a bus in front of 15, I think it is, like you're saying, you can't not do it anyway. We're screwed.
No, exactly. I mean, I knew when I was 7 that I knew at 6 that I wanted to do this. I told my mother I was on a mission when I was 6. And then I watched on the television. She asked me and my sister, "What do you want to do?" And I said, so I was looking at CBS and television, and there were these shows, music shows, and I said, well, like, I want to do that. Where are those people? And she said, those people are in California. And I said, well, that's where I'm going. And I'm going to get you a place to live there too. She says, yes, get me a place to live. Meanwhile, my father, who was still around, she was not even thinking of him. And that's exactly how it turned out. I spent the last 12 years as her caregiver until she passed away this year. And she had a beautiful apartment in Hollywood. Wow. Beautiful on the 5th floor overlooking near the Hollywood sign. She lived right there. And so I fulfilled something. I fulfilled that. I feel that we really, I really feel that I was, embarking on, it was like it was written, it was already there, and we don't have the choice in the matter. So I'm thrilled that we are, that we turned out the way we did, and I don't have regrets about, should it have been sooner? Should it have been earlier? We knocked on the doors. We saw what was available to us, what wasn't available to us. Like I said about the recording contract, what I said about how entertainment, how we consume our information, how people, the world is constantly evolving and changing. But what remains is us really people still need the human touch. People still need that contact from artists, because we're the ones creating it. Even people who create AI, those are humans creating it. And I think that that in this world right now of artificial intelligence and so much that doesn't look real and what's real and what's not, I think that people really respond strongly to what is real, what is actually there. So
spirit, yeah.
There's always going to be a need for that.
Absolutely, mate. So, pinnacle of your career so far, apart from the Jaden show, before today, pinnacle of your career, what has been the most thought?
Pinnacle of my career has to be, there are a couple of moments, but opening night off Broadway, and getting getting reviewed and having a run off Broadway of my own show, of my own play, acting on stage. That is just some of the best experiences, and then some of the best work. I think my biggest moments are coming. I that's the amazing thing. It feels like I'm starting.
Yeah,
it does.
No, I get that.
It feels like everything that I I've had great moments on set. I've acted with Christopher Walken. I've worked with Susan Sarandon and John Turturro. I've done little bits in films. I've been on set with with many faces that we know, and I've learned from. I was a background actor in The Devil Wears Prada. we didn't know that was going to be as big as it was, and no one knew who Emily Blunt was. And Meryl came in there, and she was just, telling the director, first time director, okay, we need to do this, and that, and they followed her, and Anne Hathaway was her first adult film role. She was a teen actress, so. And there I was playing, working in on the Runway magazine, working there. And so I've been exposed to a lot of things. I just think that, and I've said this before, but my life feels a lot like I've been on the side wings waiting for my moment. And what was in the way was, what that curtain was fear.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I just had to just say, okay, and dive right in,
Absolutely.
That's what's happening right now. I think I'm just stepping into me.
Well, I am very excited to see where that stepping into leads for you, quite frankly.
Thank you.
I got your back. I'm following you. Don't you bloody worry. Now, everyone now is like, oh my God, I need to follow him. Where can they find you on social media?
Easy to find everything on AdrianChristian.com.
Okay, all your links.
So that has all the links. So it'll be easy to see, because on YouTube is Adrian Christian. You'll find my channel easily there, and on Facebook, as well, and Instagram. But all the links are there on AdrianChristian.com.
And do you have a tentative date for the EP release?
We're trying to shoot for Valentine's Day. So we'll see.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Okay, you better let a brother know, mate. I want to know as soon as that's ready.
Yeah.
So actually, come back on the show. Let's chat about it just before it comes out. We can do
so you can preview some things. The single is out. Her Spirit Lives On.
Yep.
And it has titles in the lyrics. It has titles of Olivia songs, are all peppered throughout the song. So that's pretty smart that Rick did. And basically, it's a song for us fans, because it's a song that talks about how much we loved her music growing up, but the chorus goes, I honestly loved her, can't believe she's gone, her spirit lives on, her spirit lives on.
Wow, man.
That beautiful soul, a soul from a force from beyond, her spirit lives on, her spirit lives on. And it's basically to comfort us, to let us know that she's still with us, and her music, her legacy is there, and her spirit is with us. So if once you've been touched by someone, that becomes a part of you forever.
Absolutely. Have you had any feedback from her family or her diehard fans about the song? Has anyone come back to you about it yet? Or is it
Rick and I have had a lot of feedback from people in the media, and Stella Parton, Dolly Parton's sister, gave it an amazing review. She loved it. And we had one of Olivia's background singers as well gave us a thumbs up on it. And so and we've had feedback from fans, but Stella Parton's endorsement meant everything to me. She really thought it was sweet, like Olivia. And we are going to reach out to John Easterling and Chloe Lattanzi at the right time. I think once we have all the ducks in a row, it'll be a matter of time. I mean, they're doing things for wellness as well, and continuing on with plant medicine and all of the work that she's been doing. I'm thrilled that you and I have connected, because we both care about the same things, and we wanted to just honor her legacy, but also the fact that people matter, that people's lives matter, and that we, I always believed that a big part of my work was being of service to humanity. Yeah. And so spreading love and caring about other people has only enriched my life.
May this continue, mate. Thank you so much for taking the time to come and speak to me today. I really appreciate your presence, your energy, your vibe, and definitely your creativity and your passion. I really appreciate you being on my show. So
Absolutely, man. And
we are in
and I'm just
contact.
thrilled. I'm just thrilled to be here for you. And I'm going to be continuing watching as well.
Amazing. Amazing. So your video's frozen at the moment, but let's catch up again very soon and let me know. Oh, you're back. You're back. That's fantastic. Let me know as soon as anything happens and we'll do a little plug out on one of the shows. We'll do a Jaden show special. That'll be amazing. And we'll
Great.
chat offline about our future collaboration.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Absolute bloody pleasure, mate. I really appreciate you. People at home, what are you doing now? No, you're not going to put on TV now the show's finished. You're going to sit down with your cup of tea and your cheese sandwich and you're going to press stop on this. You're going to read underneath and see all the links where you can follow Mr. C. And I suggest before you get off your arse, you go and do that. Go and find him on all of his social media. Go and show some love. Go and show support. Go and share, like, comment, subscribe. Do everything you can because us artists are doing it because we love you and we can only do it with your feedback. So get on, support this man. Mr. C, thank you so much. We will definitely catch up soon. God bless you, man.
God bless, man.
Have to believe we're magic, right?
We are.
No one can stand in our way. You take care, my friend.
You too.
Bye-bye. How amazing was it chatting to Mr. C? What a lovely guy. What a super guy. And I'm very excited about his up and coming plans for his music and his acting as well. I hope you do go and follow him and show him some love and support on his social media platforms as well. While you're at it, you can check me out on my other social media platforms too. Thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of your Sunday watching the Jaden show. It's been amazing. I've enjoyed spending time with you. Make sure you come back next week and see me again so I can introduce you to another wonderful person. Because that's what it's all about, quite frankly. I'm going to leave you with another video by AdrianChristian. This is called All Consuming Fire. And I will see you next Sunday on the Jaden Show. Stay beautiful. See you later. Bye-bye.
Never worry. Sometimes help comes where you least expect. Don't worry. It's going to be okay. I'll see what I can do.
All-consuming fire, you're my heart's desire, and I love you dearly, dearly, Lord. You're my meditation.